So this picture right here kills the globe model. And this was presented by David Farina right at the beginning. He was saying that the South Pole, the South Pole 24-hour sun, free scale, flat Earth. So there's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There is no.
Are you sure about that, Eddie? G'day everybody, Where's Wally here. Let's have a look at how well Eddie does debating a video. Right away he seems to have failed. He's saying that there is no 24-hour sun when there is a series of photos depicting a 24-hour sun in Antarctica right on the screen. I'm not very sure how Eddie could even get that wrong.
I'm going to explain, but this picture alone, look, this below is the Arctic, and this one is the Antarctic.
Oh, I see how you stuffed it up. The one below is the other half of the series above, Eddie. You can see that the top left is the same as the bottom right, and the bottom left is the same as the top right, and that the footprints coming towards the camera in the top series are going away from the camera in the bottom series. I mean, how did you get this wrong, Eddie?
Now, I may not be a smart man.
This is just like how the sun behaves. So I have here with my daughter's hair band, whatever. Okay? Now, look, in the Arctic, let's say this is a person right here, okay? In the Arctic, okay, the person is facing the sun, perhaps like this, and the sun is going 360 degrees around her. So we call this a concave shape because the sun goes on a concave, let's say 180 degrees from east to west in front of you. But in Antarctica, it's the opposite, okay? We call it a convex shape in Brazil because it comes from the northeast, approaches you, and then goes away.
Yes, that might be how you would imagine the sun would act on a flat Earth if you were to view it from inside the Antarctic Circle.
Okay? It does not go around the observer like we have here. This is in the Arctic, and that's why I call Arctic or Arc the North Pole. It goes 360 degrees around the observer.
Yes, on a globe, the same sun does 360 circles left to right. Very good, Banjo.
That's not what happened in Antarctica. In Antarctica, the sun approaches you and then goes away.
Well, only on the imaginary flat world would that happen, Eddie.
Now, what I did in the video, and I collect a lot of information. Let me hide this comment for a minute. What I did in the video was to show people who went to Antarctica. There are 3 Brazilian research stations there, 1 permanent and 2 temporary, which I'm going to show you to you guys. And what David Farina is showing is exactly what's going on. A person is here. I actually have another picture that I just put together. This one right here. Okay, the person in the North Pole sees the sun going on this shape right here, around her, 360 degrees. But the person in Antarctica sees the sun approaching from the northeast, gets a little bit closer to you, and sets.
Except that is not setting, Eddie. How do we know it's not setting? Because the images on the bottom row follow on from the top row. It is in fact one complete Antarctic time sequence covering a 24-hour day. You can also go to the source article, Eddie, the Daily Mail story about the, wait for it, 24-hour sun in the land where the sun never sets. Oh dear. In fact, you can read the blog written by Ion MacDonald Nettercoat, and I butchered that name proper, of his time at the station and his attempts to get these images.
Okay, it sets. In the North Pole, it doesn't set. They have like, that's true 24-hour sun in the North Pole.
No, Eddie. These are all taken at the Concordia Research Station in Antarctica at 75 degrees south.
But not in the South Pole. So one of the videos, if you guys show, one of the officers, it shows the midnight, the sun is setting.
Oh, Eddie, this image here was taken by Ian MacDonald Needlecote in February, and he had been talking in his blog about how close to the horizon the sun was getting, and it was not what he wanted, as the red tones were changing the colours of the snow. So what we do know is that this was taken at 75 degrees south, and the solstice is in late December, and the sun's azimuth would have been at 23.5 minus 15, or 8.5 degrees above the horizon. So the sun would never set in December, or even January for that fact.
The sun sets northwest from where he was. Okay, so what happened in Antarctica is not that there is a 24-hour continuous sun, but it sets at midnight.
Nope, there is a continuous sun, and it doesn't set at midnight, as Ian mentions in his blog entry. You should try researching, Eddie.
That's what we could understand. It sets at midnight. Okay? And he shows the moon on one side. I'm going to be playing the video here for you guys. So I think right at the beginning, if somebody really watched this video and understand, it could have killed Professor David right there.
Yes, it would have, Eddie. Now, if you had told Professor Dave that the bottom series were images from the Arctic, Professor Dave would have laughed so hard and for so long that he may indeed have died of comical asphyxiation.
Because you don't have the same thing that you have in the north.
Au contraire, my fine little Eddie, we have exactly the same thing, and 6 months later. No, sorry, 6 months earlier. Haha, it doesn't matter. It happens there too.
Okay, and I have another video here I made specifically for this, full screen. Okay, that's what we have. We have in the South Pole, or on Antarctica, in Antarctica, the sun approaches and goes away. While if someone is in the middle, it's in the North Pole, the sun circles around the person. So this kills the globe.
Oh, not even a little bit. But what if Dave McKeegan here is freezing off his kahunas, along with Whitsitt and Jeren and Critical Think and Globy McGlotheface? What if these guys are all on Union Glacier and looking at the sun, and it's in the north, then 6 hours later it's in the west, then 6 hours later it's in the south and still visible and still above the horizon, and then another 6 hours later it's in the east, and finally after a full 24 hours it's back in the north, and Jeren and Whitsitt are both slack-jawed and speechless. What then, Eddie?
This is what they say happens in the globe, okay? The person is here, the sun is 360 degrees. But in the south, that's not what we observe. It should be similar.
Similar as in the same? Yep.
Okay, this is the Earth, axial tilt, 23 degrees according to the globe model. June solstice, December solstice. Sun goes around 360 degrees. According to the globe model, it should happen the same thing.
It's the same thing, Eddie.
In the south. The same thing. That's why they fake the videos.
Why would it need to be faked when it's literally the same thing as you just are showing right here?
Showing the sun going around, even the shades. You know, that's how they do it. They fake it because that's what's supposed to do.
You mean the sun does?
But David Farina, when he presented his picture here, it shows the opposite. Okay, look, in the North Pole, the sun is high, goes low, and around the horizon goes high again.
You mean what the sun does do?
The South Pole is different.
Nope, exactly the same thing with respect to the 24-hour sun in the middle of the summer.
Okay, it shows the sun approaching and going away. Okay, this is what it shows. It's the Arctic arc around the person, and the Anti-Artic. It's arcing away, just like what I did here with my daughter's hair stuff. It arcs away. You're here, the sun comes from here, gets close, and goes away. In the North Pole, it goes around you when you are here.
And it will go around Dave McKeegan too when he is way down there on Union Glacier.
So this alone, right there, kills the debate.
Actually, Eddie, old chum, Actually, Eddie old chum, that right there is a massive point of difference that is observable and testable and can be verified by all. Sorry, I keep channeling Adam for some reason.
Okay, when he presented this as evidence for the globe, this is actually evidence for the flat Earth.
Point of order, Eddie. It's only evidence for flat Earth if it does what you say. And if it sneaks in from the northeast and then scampers away to the northwest, then it is indeed a flat land. But it doesn't do that, Eddie.
Right in the beginning, okay? So that's what we have right here. So in another slide, and that one I included in my video, the officer is facing north, and he describes in the middle winter, June, the sun rises northeast and goes along the horizon and sets northwest.
Did you hear your own words there, Eddie? Middle of June, not December? Not even the correct pole for a 24-hour sun at this time of year, Eddie.
In the summer, Antarctic summer, he rises towards you and goes away. Okay? It matches the image that I just showed you guys right here. This one, it matches this. It comes close to you and goes away. This is what we should have on the globe on both sides, North Pole, South Pole.
Finally, Eddie, you make a claim. Yes, and that is what we do have. Let's show Eddie what Dave's images actually look like when looped, and we'll add the correct directions as well.
So in my view, guys, what happens, because the sun has to move faster, the sunlight advances a bit here. That's why you have longer days in the south, because you have daylight and you have sunlight together. And because the sun has to move faster, let's put the sun right here, okay? It will illuminate parts of the night. And that's why we have longer days, 17 hours, 18 hours, daytime, not sunlight in the south. We have daytime because what I call is the sun and the daytime and the daylight and sunlight are out of sync.
Is he serious here? Is this a genuine attempt to debunk the globe, or is he joking? Sorry, before we carry on, I forgot this bit.
Oh, out of sync? Nope.
Because the sun has to move faster. That's what my understanding. And that's what I try to explain, okay? Because the sun has to move faster, it goes out of sync with the night light.
Night light? No way.
Yeah, because that's what daylight. Daylight, sorry, not light. So it advances a little bit here. And then goes back to normal, okay? And also I believe in the intensity, like the sun can shine even brighter because it has to cover more areas. It shines brighter when it's in the outer ring, okay? That's my understanding. And I understand the global earthers don't want to hear the biblical explanation.
Biblical? Sounds more like an Eddie-based explanation where the sun does exactly what your model needs it to do. Don't you think, Eddie?
Now, I may not be a smart man.
Right? But that's what I understand. The sun is put there to rain during the day, the moon during the night, and when the sun is moving faster, it's going to advance here. So it's going to give us more daylight, okay? That's my understanding. So right here, I think, Professor Dave, I would question here, hey, what's going on here? Why is if you live on the globe, it should be similar, just similar.
It is, Eddie. And with that, I think I'm all done with him. Now, Will had asked Eddie to make a suggestion so our courageous band of lab coat-wearing explorers and experimenters can do a test for him. And Eddie did respond, but it seems that he's not really ready to trust Will just yet. Doesn't matter, Eddie. What we're going to do is exactly what you wanted anyway. Bye for now, guys.
Huge Ass is asking Jaron, will you share a tent with Austin?
What does that mean?
as opposed to not. I think I'd prefer Austin over Dave McKeegan. So I think I would choose Austin. If I had to choose, I'm going to take Austin.
What about if you and Professor Dave went?
Oh, God, it would not happen. Not going to happen.
Yeah. I think Dave McKeegan would be fine. Yeah.